Welcome to the Agility in Real Life podcast, Take 5 in Real Life. Now your hosts, Mike Studeman, Jeff Lee, and Pat Campbell.
Hello and welcome back to Take 5 IRL, Take 5 in Real Life, brought to you by Agility IRL. I'm Mike Studeman, one of the partners at Agility IRL.
And I'm Pat Campbell, Mike's one of Mike's partners at Agility IRL.
Good to see you again today, Pat. You recently became an ASPC. So I'm going to start out with a really uneducated question. What is an ASPC?
Well, that's a fair question. Don't worry about it being uneducated. 99.9% of the people in the United States with a number of decimal points beyond that have never heard of this thing. Let's start with SPC before we get into ASPC. SPC is basically a safe practice consultant, SAFE being the Scaled Agile framework. I got certified in helping companies implement SAFE back in 2017. And that's when I started holding the SPC moniker. And that was the level just below SPC or Safe Training, Safe Trainer
Okay.
SPCT, which was the highest level before this most recent Safe Summit. And there's another level beyond that now that I'll tell you about. But basically, the intention was to ensure there was a level of quality in the training and the implementation practices associated with the Scaled Agile framework, which is, they're to be commended on that. They wanted to ensure that people who are consulting and teaching in this space had a certain level of certification and capability.
Sure,
Now,
sure.
like any certification program, that works only to a certain point because when you're implementing the Scaled Agile framework or any scaled framework for that matter, it requires a certain understanding of how organizations work, how leaderships work in organizations, and how to affect change in organizations. And that's not necessarily something that can be taught in a 4-day certification
Sure.
class around Scaled Agile framework, as you well know.
So SPC really emphasis on quality, emphasis on depth of experience, and having been around organizational change, organizational transformation efforts. So that
Well,
was yeah,
actually,
yeah.
not quite the case. Quality around the knowledge and understanding of the Scaled Agile
Okay,
framework.
okay.
The latter piece is what was missing, and that's where that A comes into the ASPC. And it doesn't have anything to do with pets or anything like that.
Yeah, no Sarah
So,
McLaughlin appearances here on our podcast. Uh so you're an SPC 2017. You're working in safe, you have that certification, emphasis on quality. So the ASPC adds in the organizational change aspect of it. Talk a little bit about that and your journey to get that ASPC.
so ASPC was a recent addition to their level of certifications. They recognized that while anybody could go to some training and get certified in the Scaled Agile framework and demonstrate an understanding and knowledge of it, that didn't translate into the ability to implement change in large organizations where these Scaled Agile frameworks are being uh, consulted around. And so they decided that they needed to identify and define this next layer up to address transformation strategy, how to
Hmm.
engage business leaders, how do you measure the business benefits of a Scaled Agile implementation, and really treating these implementations and these changes within organizations as a product, and coaching leadership on how to support that and deliver that product for the organization. So as you can imagine, that's the next level above beyond just understanding what is the scaled agile framework or the
Sure,
pieces, the parts.
sure. Yeah, and that has to, like you said, that can't be taught necessarily in a classroom per se. It's got to be
Mhm.
earned through years of
Mhm.
experience. Well, how many ASPCs are there? You're one of them, but how many are there worldwide approximately?
So I was a year ago part of the first cadre that went through this training, and they really were looking for people who'd been in the space for a while and had the scars and the built up the muscles around implementing this framework and understanding those needs. And so there were about 30 people initially. Probably now there are about between 100 and 200 out of several thousands of SPCs around the world. So they're
Wow.
just getting started, and they're they're really putting an emphasis on not just the knowledge of scaled agile, but how do how do you do this in an organization successfully, and then demonstrate the ROI on it while coaching leadership to understand it. So it is not really just about the framework itself. In fact, very little about it. It's how does this become a change tool?
Sure, sure. So
Yeah.
why would one of our clients want to engage an ASPC beyond having to stumble over that acronym like I do?
Well, besides that, we're all young, good-looking consultants, I'll say SPCs, which is not the case since it takes some gray hair. It's really about uh, experience number one because they don't lightly go out and certify people for ASPCs. It takes some years of understanding and work with the Scaled Agile framework in order to get into these certification sessions. Secondly, because the focus is on working with leadership, developing a transformation strategy, and then tracking the ROI, um, it is different than the typical, consultant in a box.
Sure,
And
sure.
it's really more about management consulting. And management consulting is a whole different level. And that means leadership and management has someone to work with to change organizations and help them head in a direction that is impactful on their market and impactful on their bottom line.
Well, certainly, I would recommend our clients check you out as an ASPC. Congratulations on obtaining that. Certainly, you're well qualified to do that, and look forward to seeing what you can do as you continue to help our clients as an ASPC.
Thanks, Mike, and I look forward to the same.
Thanks, Pat. Thanks, everyone, for watching/listening to this podcast. Hope that you will join us on future episodes. Have a great day.
Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Take 5 IRL podcast. If you like it, please go ahead and share it with someone, as well as like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Also, leave us a comment or a suggestion for a future episode. Again, thanks for listening, and we look forward to you joining us next time on the Take 5 IRL podcast.